We're back over at Brands Hatch, the place where we held the championship finale in the first season of the Open Wheeler Sprinter Series. We are back over here in full swing, but this time it hosts through what is the start at the beginning of the winding down into its second season here in the Open Wheeler Sprint Series. But until then, it's been a very exciting season until then, and we still got a couple more races left to go. With variable weather at the hand coming here at Brands Hatch, it's going to make it a pretty exciting spectacle for the drivers and for the fans. Hello everyone, my name's Amir Oates, and joined alongside from me here today, Remco and Zeeuw will be here for the broadcast directing side of things. Lorenzo unfortunately cannot be here today, we hope he gets well soon, but Samuil Slavev is still alongside here in the commentary booth as my fellow color commentator. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for the exciting introduction that you've just provided to everyone that's watching. Let's hope for a really good qualifying and a good race. Brands Hatch is a really nice circuit. I actually find it very good for racing, so let's hope it produces two great races.
Yep, always. Brands Hatch has always been a corner staple here in the British motorsport scene, known for hosting so many spectacle races, currently that in the BTCC and also in Formula 1, and using here in the Formula BMWs with the new improved package as well coming in here. So these drivers are coming a bit blind, as we see here of Thiago Mello, who's going to start on for the first purple two sectors and will take through to provisional pole. He's going to be one for the one to watch. Same with McKenna and Youngstra as well in the Excellion and the McKenna racing car. Nikola Kotsky not having practice. He's going to be on fourth. Glamsetter has been a standout drive back in Kyle Lamy. He goes up through to fifth as David Junt, he's going to set for his first sector. So we've already got a couple of the lap times set onto the board. As you see, David Junt already struggling over through in the second sector. Hits the wall. But luckily we'll still have a bit 6.5 minutes left to go through the qualifying.
Yeah, I think the favorite, of course, for today, once again, Cody Nikola Latkovsky. We're looking at him mainly to get a P1 in qualifying and then just try and secure the double win, I guess, for Elk once again in both races. But hopefully there's someone else actually today that manages to perform or outperform the expectations very well. Hopefully that happens, and I fucking lost my words, and excuse me for cussing, I just got pissed.
No, it's perfectly fine. Of course, it's been a bit of an interesting endeavour to see that, but Lukowski indeed struggling 7/10 off from the pole sitter from Mello, as Leila Petralia Mosul, who's a new debutant here, I think also making their first Earth Factor 2 race, and Nguyen and Yunt. Oh, goodness me, Petralia hits the wall a bit. She's been struggling just a little bit, but no harm done, still got time. Andy Park is the big talking point as well. He just made his, this is his second Earth Factor 2 race, and he's already up as sixth place already, so he's doing really good as he still holds on through the Uptunnel for the time being, with actually Uptunnel going for an entirely new lineup of Park and Corolla. Corolla also made for the appearance last time round in Kailami as well, but quite interesting for Uptunnel to go with their brand new layup, as both Burnett and Mulling are not here today.
Maurici Mozo, hard name to pronounce. He's a new driver in the grid. I haven't seen him before. He's driving for Mission Valor 1, as Juho Saponen informed us that he would not be participating in this round due to some technical issues. But let's see how he gets on with the track, the cars, the standards, and basically everything involved in the league.
Yep, Murray again, last minute replacement, very last minute, but it's not very easy to get used to the R Factor 2 driving physics and the wet weather mechanics as well, often with a very sophisticated tire model. Murray does set a lap time on the board though, and even though it's about more than a second off from Corolla, it is still a pretty respectable one from the Polish driver. Cody Nikolakowski onto the final corner he's going to go. He's yellow for the first two sectors. He's still struggling as a North Macedonian and championship leader. Goes for across the line. Does manage to improve just a little bit, but is actually to place to fourth, as Glamsetter behind does improve to push Fox Esports into the top four.
Good job by Dara trying to challenge Ty Youngstra 5/10 off. No, McKenna 6/10 off. Actually, he's put in a pretty decent lap for himself, because I don't think we've seen him up that high in the qualifying standings yet, but hopefully today that changes.
Yeah, Nova, she's been extremely strong thus far, and in fact started this season as a reserve to it was Savinsky and Knox. So Knox may be coming in here at the start of the sprint race, but time will tell if that will ever come about. Salagi I think Salagi has done pretty well. He's always been in contention for the midfield, or at least somewhere around the lines of the podium back into round one in Okayama. So see if he'll be able to get used to a little bit of a struggle approaching over through to the second sector. He is the furthest part away from the track through to the forests, also known where the F1 movie has also filmed spoiler scenes as well. So that's always a nice little trivia you can tell to your grandkids whenever you're older.
Wait,
Yellow
what?
already for the second sector. Yellow already for the second sector. You didn't know about the F1 movie hosting the filming locations. I thought it was
No,
common knowledge. So,
I haven't
like
watched
coming
it.
over for
I haven't watched it because I thought it would be mid. I can't lie. I didn't think it would be good because if you know anything about F1, you know the F1 movie doesn't represent it really.
it's all the Hollywood and all the theatrics, but still fun nonetheless. Speaking of theatrics, Jonas Kerala already improving the first sector. He's only 1.6 seconds off from, but it's still going to be enough to maybe push him up ahead to maybe 7th or 6th. Depends how the last two sectors go for the Finnish driver. We're slowly going to get over to the second sector for him, a little up on the grass, but still doing pretty fine. And actually kind of struggle a little bit too much as it's 1.3 in the second sector. The final sector left to go for the Finnish driver. About a minute and 40 left on the clock. Coming over down to the final corner. Going to use as much of the track as he possibly can. Trying to grip it on to the track as he possibly can. As the optimal driver goes for across the line, it will be improvement. Yes, it will be, but he will still only remain in 8th.
Jonas Kurowa hoping to improve. Well, he was hoping to have a better lap than that, but
Whoa!
I also expected him to be on another team. And here's Cody Nikola Latkovsky with a purple second sector. He's going to be up for sure on his lap if he doesn't mess up this final corner, and he does it pretty well. He goes right on the track limits, and now he's going to cross the line any second now. And what is the time going to be?
Whoa!
Wait, no, he
Yes,
does
it is
improve.
improvement.
But
It's a massive
Thiago
improvement.
Mello. Thiago Mello jumps Cody Nikola Latkovsky. Or am I bugging? I swear
No,
Cody was first.
he never jumped him. Cody was never first. He was actually
Oh.
as low as 5th. So Thiago Mello has been setting the benchmark. Andy Park, meanwhile, middle through the second sector. He's just got the final sector for him to go. Can we see a Chilean bump up and an all South American front row potentially in the feature race? That will be a first ever in OWSS. He goes across the line. He just misses out through as it is it's the first sector being 5/10 off. Then unfortunately does not allow him to get it. If the first sector was just improved ever more so slightly, we could be seeing a new pole sitter here, Samuel.
Yes, indeed. That was a very, very good lap by Andy Park. He really put it right in the mix, just barely beats out Tai Youngstra, and that's his best qualifying performance, I'm pretty sure.
Youngstra a little bit too on the grass coming through to the final corner. Still looking pretty good in the first sector, but the second sector almost cancels each other out, so he's about net 400s off, goes off to the final corner, and the Dutchman will call it quit. As the checker flag drops, we'll see if there's any other drivers that have yet to set their lap times. Salagi has gone purple into the middle sector. I think the track must be drying, Samuel, which is why we're getting this little bursts of final attempts here. The Hungarian goes for across the line for Aquila Racing. Is it going to be enough for himself? He puts up for him to second place. What a lap that it was for Mark Salagi. Thiago Mello behind goes for across the line. He's hoping to try and cement that pole position. Well and truly dusted as David Jones goes off the grass. And that'll be not going to be close. Aquila Racing will have 2nd and 12th, and that is it confirmed as David Yunt couldn't set a lap time at the very end, and James Knox has attended a bit too late. Oh, we'll start from the back as well. P13 for himself. Glam sector though, purple in the middle sector though. Is it going to be improved for him? He does. He splits the Elks even further apart now. It's now Melon Lovkowski in 1-4, and it's Salagi and Glam sector as it stands.
Very, very interesting qualifying. The weather really did affect things as we predicted before.
Yeah, fantastic There, Thiago Meo clinches for his first pole position of the season with P1, and Elk International still holds on to all 4 races with pole set. But it's the second place over Mark Salagi for Aquila Racing, a phenomenal performance for second, and Christian Glamsetter for third for Rock Sports. Cody Nikolakowski through to fourth, the championship leader, followed by behind Andy Park in fifth, with Thijs Youngstra complete over through to the top 6. Nova McKenna for the namesake racing team in seventh, with Jonas Corella in eighth for Uptidal. Leila Perchalia and Maracry Mozo is an All Valor 1, 9 and 10. Outside of that one, we've got JC Nguyen for Citrix Racing in for 11th with David Yunt. He did manage to set by lap time, my apologies, although 20 seconds off, not quite a valid attempt, I believe, for the Swiss driver. He'll be in 12th with James Knox. He attended midway through the session and couldn't find a time to set a representative lap time.
Very, very interesting qualifying. As I just said before we started reading out what's happening, weather really did affect things. Like, dry down by the end, and people just started improving rapidly, and the people that already pinned completed laps just couldn't really do it based off of timing.
Yeah, and that really did go to show just how much that weather will make a difference. And if anything, that's kind of left the gates wide open for whoever will come up on top in Brands Hatch. It's not quite an easy and close case as may have been in the previous races, because with this favorable weather in hand, a new package, and a very intense qualified, it's honestly, Samuel, in my opinion, anyone could really come out on top here. It just really depends on how the race is going to pan out and who will play into what sort of strategy on track for both the sprint and the feature.
Hopefully, something like this occurs in the sprint and feature race, because I think that would make it really, really interesting, especially if it's like heavier rain and people actually have to pit for wet tires or something, or potentially stay out. That would be like really, really good.
Yep. I completely, honestly agree with you. 15 laps sprint, 23 laps feature. I'm wondering if it has been done, we can maybe have a run through to the standings to just remind ourselves with these 2 rounds left to go. Well, 3 rounds left to go from here. What it looks to be from here. Round 4, round 5, round 6, all coming through to the end of the second half end of the race as well, of what has been a very exciting championship thus far, and we'll continue for that and more. So Brands Hatch, Road Atlanta, and Dubai, the Dubai Autodrome will be the hosts for round 4, round 5, round 6. Remco, do we have the standings perchance? No response. That's fine. Do you want to run through the standings, Samuel? Oh, we do? Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. It's perfectly fine. But yeah, this is how it looks in terms of the standings. So it's currently an all Elk 1-2 as it stands. Ben Skinner, that more importantly was in third place, isn't here today. So a chance for that battle for P2 has been very tense. I think it's only about 5-point splits between second to fifth, I believe. No, 7 points. It's 7 points between Mello, Skinner, Glamcenter, and Yunt, and it could really go either way. Depends on how they finish. Tiago Mello does seem to have the advantage a bit for the time being, but Skinner not being available, Glamcenter being third, and David being 12th means that this could really shake it up here, Samuel.
Yeah, I agree with you. The standings are looking to be shaken up because so many people are missing from today's race, which gives up the people that actually show up a very, very good chance to improve.
Indeed, indeed. Of course, looking outside from that as well, Bernat in 6th, Oliver Tavares for 7th, with not sure with McManus Motorsport, Papadopoulos in 8th, Youngstra, good for him over into 9th, and Philip Savinsky also has not made a 10th, so Nova and James Knox will be the ones covering for Savinsky for, I think it was for the last race and this race as well, so now 2 races. It's Nova that's taking place for Savinsky now, but a very exciting championship, as we have mentioned. It's really been a big question if anyone could really challenge Lakoski here. He's won all the races here. He's won all the races here today, or all the rounds in a race that has happened. So round 1, round 2, and round 3. Tiago Mello was the only other driver to have not won a race as well. But again, with Brands Hatch, with this wet weather, there's a possibility that we could maybe see a non-elk winner here today at Samuel.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I hope that happens actually. But things are still gonna be very hard. Cody isn't that far away in his racecraft and experience from other leagues. I think it's gonna be very crucial today. Not like the people ahead of him don't have any experience, but he's just got the upper hand in that aspect. And Thiago Melo, well, he's been driving very good these past rounds, especially in the sprint races. He always manages to just be in the right place at the right time, stay in the leading positions, and not really fall back off in the opening laps, like what's happened to some other people.
Yeah, it's very important to have that sort of skill set, especially in the sprint. So the fact that Thiago has managed to do that is effectively very good, and the way that he cuts through the field as well during the sprints, because it's about how many positions that you gain in a short amount of time, is what really kind of benefits the drivers as much. And because it's a sprint race as well, means that you can effectively push and not having to worry about such tire wear as Thiago again trying to have a feel for how the rain is going to pan out. With that variable weather, there's a chance it could dry out as well. And as we've often said, rain is often a great equalizer. Not really many people usually in R-Factor 2 would practice onto the wet weather, so everyone's kind of starting from effectively a clean slate here, Samuil. And as we can see, everyone's just setting through their lap times onto the board, with Melo still holding on to the fastest, with Lukoski 3/10 off, Salagi 7/10 off, and Mozo I think still just trying to get used to the R Factor 2. He's 3.7, which is still very good, just easily warming up. And again, a last minute praise, but not very easy to jump into a Formula BMW, might I add. A Formula BMW's. You've raced in this car as well, Samuel. What would you give your impressions on this car?
Very rear happy, usually. Also, locking up on the brakes, I think, makes it pretty unstable, but it's pretty hard to lock the brakes in this car because you're not going too fast to do that, or you never have to brake too hard in this car for that to achieve like good racing lines and pace. But overall, I'd say just keep it under control. It's like a big go-kart. You don't steer too much, you use your pedals more, and yeah, you just let it slide.
A big go kart. I've That sounds quite familiar. It's like how we often talk about such racing cars like that, especially for the Formula Fours as well. Of course, the Formula BMW is kind of a bit like the pre-Tatis days, at least in the R Factor 2 content that we have, which is a bit like a lower down to the Formula Renault 3.5 or Formula 2s, if any of the unks would know about what series that is. That's often seen the likes of Carlos Sainz Jr. and Robert Kubica making their way. Was it Robert Kubica? It was Robert Kubica. They were the ones that have progressed and then almost went straight into Formula One in that rate. So very adaptable and just easy to get along. There's other drivers as well that have come up through Renaults and BMWs in that Formula Fida series, but I don't think I'll name them all. But one notable one would be for that Valtteri Bottas, if all remember from the Live for Speed, which is what this
Yeah,
car is
he's been
loosely
on
based
Leaf.
on.
Yep. He's been on that game. He's said, I think, in an interview. It's a very good game. Not to advertise it, but yeah, I like it as well.
It's not dead, ladies and gentlemen. Buy it now.
Yep.
Reverse grid underway. James Knox, because he didn't set a lap time, I think will be starting over at pole position here for the sprint race. David Yunt will follow through alongside him. So as I say that Yunt has just escaped into the pits, maybe to make some setup changes at the minute. Lakoski in 9th, Glamsetter 10th, Mello 12th, also keep up for him. And David Yunt has been pretty strong in these Formula BMWs. Could be up for a rite of passage if he's managed to hold on to a lead or just fight off against James Knox. Then it could be a pretty good point all for him. But anything can really happen, and an old Mission 19 Velo 1 with the row behind as well. Definitely keep an eye for them as well. They are really good during the sprint races, at least, to hold up for the crowd. So it's not very easy to overtake Petralia, as we have seen before. But the field goes off, and we are slowly going to get ready for the. Oh, well, we're getting over to the formation lap for today's race. Would you like to do the honors, Samuel, or shall I?
I will do them this time, alright?
Okay.
So in P1 we've got James Knox, and P2 David Jan, very good qualifying by him. P3 Maurici Mozo, and P4 Leo Petralia. P5, Jonas Karawa. P6, Nova McKenna. P7, Thijs Jongstra. P8, Andy Park. P9, Cody Nikola Latkovsky. P10, Christian Glamsetter. P11, Mark Silagi. And P12, Thiago Mello. Is there any other cars? No, I don't think so, right? Yeah.
No,
I was
that's
bugging. Yeah, this is reverse grid. I forgot about that, and I said someone had a very good qualifying, but that's just not the case. But yeah, nonetheless, let's see what Thiago and Cody can do, as they're the favorites right now for the championship, and they're starting at the back.
Yep, Glamsitch as well for an eye on him. That got a very good fight with Mela this time. There, Jules kind of starting not the opposite way, but kind of contrary to that. Glamsetter has he's been voted underrated driver of the day back in round 2 at Hampton Downs, and I think was even almost in contention again, and almost took the votes this time, but was beaten to, I believe it was the Pro Racing driver in, I think it was, I need to remember who it was. It was definitely the Pro Racing, because it was a very, very close fight for that in the end. It's Rafael Reim is the one that won that one in the end, but Clamsetter again came so close. He actually came just 4 points shy of that, so it's really going to show a testament of how good that Norwegian driver is, as we just slowly get ready for the field to line up onto the grid. Any predictions?
Me? Any predictions? Someone jump the start.
I'm not sure if someone did. We'll have to see. Someone's going for the pace. We're going to wait for the lights to come up, though. James Knox hold on to the lead with David Young alongside, waiting over for the lights to drop.
Okay, can the lights
Okay, we can now
drop?
see it here. We can now see it over here now. I was expecting it to come a bit, just waiting for the lights to come on. I can just barely see it over for to the top. It's not often good. We'll just have to wait to see when their engines will rev and when we'll get underway, as everyone slowly starts to line up. The anticipation building here for Brands Hatch. We're off and we're underway. James,
well, my prediction didn't hold.
Start. Yeah, James Fox a pretty decent start though. David John is under threat from Mosa 3 wide. It's coming over to the back, heading over down to turn 1, goes straight downhill. They've all managed to keep it on track, which is very, very important. James Knox still holds on very comfortably to his lead, though. Mosul makes the overtake against David John for P2. David John drops off, though. He's spun in the background. That was Andy Parker, I might believe, or Youngstra. I'm not sure who that really was, but
Youngstra.
Youngstra, very devastating. Hits the wall, unfortunately, for the Accelerated Motorsports driver, and that is unfortunately it. Narkowski. Yep, that's very unfortunate there. Lovkowski and Mello both jumped into 5th and 6th. Nova McKenna apply for the pressure. That's the one of the drivers gone off, though. James Knox has gone off, and he will be dropped all the way out to P10, I believe. And yes, he will unfortunately do so. Lukowski and Mello both into the inside line, heading over through to the second sector, and a double overtake in hand as they both get into P3, P4. My goodness me! Bit of a contact. Mello spun off, hit the wall, and that was, I believe, Andy Parker has gone off track as well.
A lot of contact in the beginning of the race. Brands Hatch is a bit tight though, and people went 3-4 wide cars. So, yeah, I think that's pretty expected.
Yeah, very unfortunate there. Glamsetter, though, a little bit discombobulated. Does manage to return to his form. Nova McKenna, though, leads, who's been very good during practice so far. Definitely, she seems to be the best of the rest, though, as Acosti makes his way past Mosul for P2, and Kerala applying for the pressure onto Mosul. But here comes Glamsetter down into the inside for Tommy for turn 1. Is it going to make the chance? He won't be able to do so, though. But Kerala almost tries to look over and take against Mosul, but Mosul bend over for turn 1, Purgeon over for turn 2, they're both gonna come, and Glamsetter tries to have a look down to the inside, still side by side going on ahead, they both make sideways, Glamsetter spins around, and out of the turn 2, he comes off worst, and it's unfortunate, the hairpin claims another casualty, Samuel.
Yeah, Glamsetter kind of did what he did last race in the final lap, in the final corner of the sprint race, and Kia Lamy just way too eager on the throttle way too early, and the car just spins him out. That's what I said. If you're way too throttle happy on this car or brake happy, very, very quick things shift around.
Yep, things can change in an instant. As often as in the case in sim racing, still only lap 2 out of 15, so laggy all over the back in Petralia. As they go over to the second sector, Petralia goes a bit wide onto the gravel. She'll be able to manage to recover and keep it on track though, and she
The
does
wets
do
look
so.
better. The wets look a lot better.
They do indeed, but the people in the dryers could be betting on maybe the track drying off a bit for the time being, as McKenna still leads with Cody Nikolakowski in second. Mozo and Kerala still looking on board with them. They're about 2.2 seconds off from Lakowski, so we're going to see those two battle up with absolutely nothing else left to lose. Kerala down into the inside, approaching over down to turn one, pretty dangerous, but he should be able to do so. He's got a bit of enough of a gap as Mozo still tries to apply the pressure. Is it gone a bit too wide? He manages to lift off the gas to save face, but unfortunately loses out on the position to Kerala. A great overtake there by the Finnish driver.
Good racing. Mozo showing these good racecraft, excuse me, because there was basically no contact. He just kept it clean and just didn't overreach.
Indeed, and Kerala should hopefully be able to pull away, and will at least try to hope that Lavkovsky and McKenna do battle for a lead, that Kerala will have a chance to fight for that place. As looking over to the back there, that is Glamsetter and Salagi in a battle for P6. David Young just 1.76 seconds behind as well. Side by side, they approach it over, going on to the second sector. As Salagi just lifts off on the frontal, looks down into the inside onto Glamsetter, hoping Glamsetter overcooked it, but he didn't. He takes it very well as they still navigate through to the forest. As Glamsetter comes off a little bit squiggly, and Salagi finds an opportunity and capitalizes it, and that will punch Mark Salagi up into P6.
Good racing in the front. Most of the people are just hanging around one another in packs, except P1 and P2, and they're just looking to have these, I'd say, duo battles for positions.
Nova McKenna, as we've mentioned before, extremely strong thus far, but Lavkovsky is the man in hunting. He still wants to retain his record of having won every single race in this championship thus far. Feat almost unheard of in OWSS back in Season 1, but this North Macedonian driver could well and very well truly top that. 2 seconds though, and in the wet weather, it's going to be a pretty hard feat for him to achieve. Mozo and Mello. Corolla, I think, dropped off. He used to be in P4, but now has dropped off to Mello. So Mello holds on to 4th, and Mozo, in his R Factor 2 debut, I think, is holding on to 3rd place, or at least his OWSS debut. So very impressive there, I must say, from the Mission 19 Valor 1 driver. But holding back Tiago Mello will be a very interesting feat for him to do, as Mello has got a little bit all the time in the world to really get another podium into his books and push himself away from that best of the rest championship that everyone has sort of been eyeing on. But we'll see how the Brazilian does. He's just waiting for his time here, Samuel.
Yeah, he's just biding his time. Oh, Mozo spins! Mozo spins under almost no pressure by Tiago Mello. He now rejoins the track. Good rejoin by him. But Jonas Karo is right in the back of him, and he's going to be looking for a move. And the others aren't far behind him as well. So let's see what happens to the final corner.
Coming over to the final corner, as we said, that slipstream is going to be pretty effective down into turn 1. Corolla just needs to just wait behind him and find a way to capitalize it. He's looking over down to the outside of turn 1. Very risky, especially in these wet weather conditions. But the first driver could very well truly pull it off if it's a tire line for Mozo. Gunning over down to turn 1. Ooh, and it's Mozo still manages to hold it in against Corolla though.
Mark Silegi now joins the fight. He's just behind it. This is the first 3-car battle we've seen actually all race, I think. But Mozo is just trying to hold on to that P4. He already lost P3 to Tiago Mello. So now he's just looking to secure the best points he can on his debut, of course. And I thought, okay, no, that's 2 different cars. Excuse me, I thought it was the Aquila Racing cars battling each other. I'm actually surprised Jonas Corolla is driving an Optimino, as he said he's going to be driving for a different team every round, but he's already drove for Optimino, so I guess he got snatched up.
Talk about a journeyman accolade, though. Corolla has done extremely well thus far in OWSS, so it's no surprise. Well, Timnall has kind of picked him up, though. So Laggy, though, really applying the pressure. That's going to allow for Mosul to have that breathing distance to hold on through the P4. Salagi cuts a little bit onto the track, a little bit of kick in the dust. That shows how much he's trying looking through. Corolla almost leaves the door a bit open, but not enough for Salagi to get inside. And meanwhile, in the background, you can see that Glamsetter could be looking for a chance here. This could be, well, truly be turning into a 5-car battle here as they still going ahead, and into the pits is Corolla.
Jonas Corolla going for dries. I'm assuming we'll find out in a second, but I doubt he's serving some sort of penalty.
No,
he went on a dries.
He's going in for the dries. He's going to go in for the dries. So for the people that are staying
out
on
is
the
they
dries,
refueling him?
Yeah, they could be refueling him. I think we have seen that before, where whenever you make the pit stops, it may be an obligated fuel. I think it might be in the case in the mods or the pit request. I'm not entirely sure. Maraquai and Glamsetter, though. Glamsetter makes his way past Salagi, Corolla, and Mosul to punch his tick up into P4, and now it is Glamsetter into P4, Mello in P3, and Lakoski second place, who's actually now gotten to under a second of McKenna. The tire we don't really have here. Is lower to lap 7 of 15. Apologies a little bit for the little brief disconnection I think that I've had, or if there was no disconnection, then
no, something with Discord.
That's perfectly fine. I was just talking about how there is only so much that we could see as commentators in regards to the track surface here, because if Corolla does pit and that turns out to be a good thing, then we'll see. Park has made his way past Salagi, so that may be a really good showing that the softs may be coming in through to their element. Lap 7 out of 15 though. McKenna goes a bit sideways. This is going to be Lakoski's chance to pants, but he doesn't. He's just going to wait a little bit, and it's still going to be Irish team versus Irish team here, similar to what it was back in Brands Hatch last season, Samuil.
Yeah, Cody eyeing the P1 halfway through the race. No, McKenna she's going to have to defend with her life if she wants any chance at keeping P1. Cody's looking for the inside, fakes it into the final corner now. He's going to try and get a better exit, but doesn't manage to. Nova seems to pull away just a bit. Is Cody going to get close enough into turn 1 to make the move stick? Does he dive it? No, he doesn't. Keeps it safe. Looking for the hairpin entry.
Just looking for Glamsetter if he is catching up. 10 seconds is the gap initial to Mello at the moment. And Mello himself is 6 seconds, so he's about net 16 seconds off. With the pit stops as well included, it is if McKenna, Lakoski, and Mello pit, they are going to miss out. So this could well and truly be for the race lead or so, but we'll see how it goes on. Lap 18 out of 15, approaching over through to the halfway point here, and the North Macedonian still on the back of the Irish driver. Can Nova McKenna defend from Lakoski? It's a very hard ask, but she can well truly do it. And also Brad Thatcher is also pretty thin, pretty narrow as well, so you can really utilize that Formula BMW around in some ways and just place it perfectly. And you can tell McKenna has done her homework, because it's well, this is the most that we've seen Lakoski struggled at all in OWSS thus far. But look at this, McKenna, so close. Lakoski finds the opening as they approach over through side by side. McKenna goes a little bit sideways. Is that the momentum?
Brilliant move by Lakoski.
Lakoski moves. Yes, Lakoski does it, and now he's going to have to defend from McKenna. She's going to have to try to look down to the inside, through to the final corner. It is not going to quite work as the approach of a lap 9 out of 15. She's going to hope for the slipstream. Won't be able to carry her momentum here, Samuil.
Yeah, she's eyeing up the dive for turn 1, fakes it now, trying to get a better exit. She looks to have the better line. She's rapidly gaining on Cody. She's going to send it to the hairpin into turn 2. Is she going to deep brake? No, Cody goes a bit too wide though. Nova managed to sneak in. They're still side by side going to turn 3. Let's see what happens around the outside. She backs out. And now she's going to be looking to attack him once again in the next parts of the circuit.
She looks to try and go and do a bit of a cut over, a wide entry into the inside line, and you can almost see Lakoski almost reading it and having to try to back it off. Meanwhile, Thiago Melo down to under 5 seconds, still at 9 out of 15 though. Glamsetter is not catching up, still on the soft compound, so it still seems to be on equal footing between the dries and the wets as it looks for the time being, as Lakovsky is still defending from McKenna. McKenna is not backing off whatsoever here, Samuil.
McKenna really putting up a good fight. She seems to have practiced a lot and done her homework, as you said, so she's actually kind of giving Cody a hard time.
Onto the gravel, McKenna has went, and that has allowed Lakoski to have the breathing room that he so desperately desired, and now it can focus a little bit more onto those tires and think about for the race ahead, as it's still only lap 10 out of 15, 5 laps left to go, and he's still onto the wet compound, so glance at Yunt Park on the soft, same with Corella on Gamble on the soft, may not be paying off as he's got Salagi and Mosul to having to worry about the 3 retirements, being Youngstra, Knox and Petrelli, all been caught for the lap 1 incident, so got 9 cars running here in the sprint race. And as you said, a little bit hectic here, but that's what reverse grid is often known for. Lakoski still holds on 6/10 off from McKenna and 4.5 from Mello. A bit much onto the gravel Lakoski goes, but it's still, he still managed to control that lead pretty well.
Yeah, Cody Lakovsky at this rate in another round, he would already be like 1 or 2 seconds ahead. But Nova McKenna is still in the slipstream of Cody Lakovsky after 2 laps of the battle being ended. And Thiago Melo is also chasing her down in the remaining 5 laps, but he's going to have to be putting in some crazy lap times to actually manage to get behind her and then overtake her. After that, the gaps are big.
Yep, the gap is a little bit too much for Melo to digest, but for the pole setter, it's not quite much to give up though, as all could be looking for a back-to-back podium here, but Nova is still not giving up on Lakoski though, even though it's come to over a second. You can still see there's a fairly bit in similar place though, the Macedonian and the Irish driver, as they come around through to the final corner, through lap 11 out of 15. As we can see here going on here, and the rest of the field, no other fights I believe to be reported. So again, this is the closest that we have currently on track between Lakoski and McKenna. As we can see further down below, that is Mello. That's Glamsetter is catching up a little bit, but it's only been about a second in the last 4 or 5 laps here, Samuil.
Yeah, now everything's died down a bit. Everyone just sort of gone into the groove of the race, and now everyone's just setting laps around the circuit, looking to gain time, looking to find places to battle with, people to battle with, excuse me. Thiago Melo struggling a bit. His car looks kind of jerky. He keeps correcting the wheel and all the corners he goes through, but so far so good.
Just slowly as the race comes over to its closing stage, Melo, you can just see his state inputs, just all those like very small corrections to just try and keep the car straight. As you can see there, that might that's McKenna at the background there, going for uphill. And there you go, just to see a slight glimpse of the McKenna Racing team just slowly catching up ahead. It's gone to 3.4 seconds. McKenna has been pushed away. It's now gone to 2 seconds now. So it's all dependent between Melo and McKenna if this is going to be the next fight that we're going to witness here. As it's still only, it's now lap 12 out of 15. So about 3 laps to go here. Who do you think will come up for on top, Samuil? Is the gap too much for Melo to close?
Unless Nova makes some mistakes. I don't think Thiago can close it. 3 laps, 3 seconds. Yeah, that's kind of tough. I don't see the pace difference being this good, especially with Nova being this good, which was actually kind of a surprise. No hate intended. I didn't really expect Nova to perform so well, but she's actually overachieving by a lot, in my opinion.
She's been fantastic so far. Definitely could be in contention for underrated driver of the day, in my opinion. As looking on board with her now, as the gap is slowly catching up. It's now under the 2.9s. There is Cody Novakoski in the background again, so almost even pacing between these two as McKenna sideways, but does recover well. But as you can see, just sliding that car as surely the wets are not meant to last for this amount of time. If you go on for a wet tire stint, especially if you're going to do it for a feature race, there could well and truly be some pit stops because the treads do degrade very, very quickly.
Yeah, now that the track is drying down, times aren't exactly getting any faster, but the tires are wearing more, even though it's lower few percentages. Just the drying track, really probably overheating the tires at the minute, and everyone's just struggling. You can see everyone's car jerking left and right, and they're having to control it with corrections every second.
So precise precision. As you can see there, Glamsed are just so close, not getting off track, but does still do very, very well. And I think he'll be a little bit happy with fourth place, even though that he got caught up in a lap one incident. The fact that he's managed to finish as high as he did has been nothing short of a fantastic performance. Honestly, from the Norwegian, really great. Still 2 laps to go. I think, is it 2 or 3?
Yep.
I think
Two,
I said
two.
two laps, 3 to go. As it's at 2 seconds now between Mello. As that was a swap between Corolla and Salagi. As that was in the battle for P8, so Corolla does manage to make the overtake against Salagi, and Salagi looking to try and fight back, won't be able to. Oh, actually, he's losing the front wing. He lost the front wing.
Yeah, I wonder what happened there, but he's lost out and take on 2 positions potentially. But I think he's gonna finish the race with the broken front wing, looking like it's gonna be kind of hard. But he's actually not doing too bad for some reason. I don't understand how, but he's cornering pretty well.
The I just love the wedge on that thing. It's often very cool to look at, though. As you can see, yes, Salagi is actually cornering pretty good, even without the front wing. But
Might be
I
a
guess
visual
that
glitch.
could be well truly be a visual glitch. That's all indeed a possibility, especially if you've made like an instant like that. But Mello and McKenna gone to 1.5 seconds though, with 1.5 laps left to go. So Mello is really gonna come this down to the wire as McKenna a little bit wide through to the first sector, gonna go over to the 90-degree. Well, more than 90-degree left-hander, then off to the longest straight on I was gonna say off Great Britain. No, of course not. Off Brands Hatch as they go right through downhill, and then almost at a complete near flat right-hander. But with the wet weather and with these downforces, then it's just has to lift up a bit. So Mello really giving his all, the Brazilian. It's so close. It's just, I think McKenna might just have the edge, but Mello will definitely give it his all here, Samuel.
Yeah, Melo will definitely be looking to just use every part of the track, use all the throttle he could, maximize everything. But 1.3 is the gap, and Cody is about to go in his final lap. They're approaching the final turns as well. It's going to be quite a hard task. Nova McKenna just needs to keep it on track and not really lose and make any big mistakes, and she should make it home with a P2.
No mistakes from McKenna as all she needs, and I think from all of us, she's just effectively cemented P2. Lakoski, biggest points gainer from the start of the reverse grid with 8 and Mello with 9. Other than that, it is Glamsetter, even with his lap 1 incident, managed to gain over for 4. Lakoski also suffered as well, but he manages to also gain as well. But here we go, down over to the final lap there. You can see in the background there is Glamsetter as well, so that could be a bit of a warning sign there for 1.2 seconds off to Mello. So this is really might be showing that the track is kind of drying out to the very last minute. So Mello, rather than having to be aggressive to McKenna, will have to be defensive to Glamsetter. So a bit of a change in guard for the Brazilian. Come over to the final half of the lap, and you can see there Mello is clearly struggling just a little bit. Glamsetter really seems to be set on his element though. Is it going to deny Mello of a podium chance here at the sprint race? Only time will tell. We're going to see as it comes down to the very, very last wire. Both of them going to maximize that corner as they possibly can. Glamsetter going to look down. Which way is it going to go? He's going to look over for the outside. But Mello holds on through to the racing line. Meanwhile, up front, Cody Naglankowski will make it through another race win. Added to his accolade as the North Macedonian wins here at Brands Hatch. And they did up over there as Mello goes sideways. Will lose it on P3 at the very last minute. And it is Glover McKenna and Glamsetter that will complete for the podium places here at Brands Hatch.
Yeah, the soft tires really helped Christian Glamsetter right at the end. The track really dried down, and the wet runners started to go really slow, and the slick runners started to go really fast. And Christian Glamsetter managed to capitalize on exactly that in the last second. Thiago Mello, he's been dealing with uncertainty in the car. What's the car going to do? Is it going to squirm? Is it not going to squirm? For maybe a good part or half of the race, I would say. And right at the end, it bites him that he chose the wets.
Yeah, it's extremely unfortunate for Mello, but still a very good fight for nonetheless. And as he just said, those softs really came in the end in clutch for Glamsetter. All that racing under the wet conditions in the softs ended up paying dividends though. But Mosul and Kerala down to the very wire though for himself, as Mosul also going to be struggling. Kerala going to be going side by side. A photo finish in hand.
Oh!
He'll be on top. It is Mosul is the one that will beat Kerala for P7.
Kerala just misses out on the outside. He just needed maybe 5 more meters and he could have gotten the position.
Incredible. And that concludes through the sprint race here at Brands Hatch. And it's same old, but in a bit of a different context though this time. Cody Nikolakovsky, another race win added into his books. And Nova McKenna makes it through McKenna's, I think it's McKenna's first podium, I think, as a... Hang on, I need to check this. Ooh. I really need to check before I do this. It is McKenna's racing and McKenna's first podium this season. Christian Glamsetter completes our through to the top 3 with Fox Esports, so he's got another podium to his second podium actually in the sprint race, as Thiago Mello unfortunately misses out on the podium in 4th. David Junt in 5th. Andy Park in 6th for Optimal. Good for him, as Maracry Mosul splits for the 2 Optimals. He's done very good. Fellow 1 as he finishes over in 7th. Jonas Kerala in 8th with Mark Salagi in 9th. And the retirements unfortunately being Leila Petralia, Tice Youngstra and James Knox. All of them which have been retired in lap 1.
Very actually interesting race. It panned out exactly like we thought. The weather would change and the situations would also change for the drivers, because one person started on wets, another person started on dries. So yeah, very interesting race and showcasing some strategy today.
Indeed, and what's the funny bit is that it's only just been the short race that has been ended. We still have got one more race left to go, and if there's anything at the sprint race that has really going to show us that the feature race might be all the more interesting though, as well, I must say, Samuel, this has been an exciting race, probably one of the most exciting races I've ever commentated in R Factor 2, and it's only just ever been one race down and another race left to go. We'll see if Elk will remain victorious, or from the way the looks of things, if we see a newcomer in the form of McKenna or Glamsetter and company, if we'll have a new race winner. Stay tuned. Until then, we'll be very quick after this very short break.
All right, and we're back for the feature race in Brands Hatch. After a very, very entertaining race one, let's see what the drivers can cook up in race two. Hopefully, it stays exciting throughout the whole race. There's some weather changes once again, so there's some strategy involved because we haven't seen that be too much at play so far this season. But other than that, yeah, the race I would say was pretty entertaining for the viewers. Who do we think is winning race two, Amir? Take your guess. Take your pick.
Ooh, the fans. The fans will win race. Win race two. I always say that. They will always win race two. We will always win race two. It'll always be very fun and very exciting to just watch feature races. Sometimes it may bore people because it's not a reverse race, but often honestly with how this rain has been and how influential it came to at the very last minute for I think it was for Glamsetter and for Park as well, as Park and Glamsetter pick up are the only other drivers apart from Tiago and Cody to have picked up a fastest lap in OWSS, so that's a very good accolade for them both. We will look over through to the field as we go over to the starting grid. So this time it's based on the qualifying as Tiago Mello holds on to pole position with Mark Salagi in second, Christian Glamsetter P3 in the sprint, P3 here. Cody Nikolakowski, the sprint race winner, will start over in P4. Andy Park, keep an eye for him as he starts in fifth. If Nova McKenna P2, she'll be in P6. That has been a very good performance for her previously. Jonas Corella in seventh with Leila Petralia in eighth through DNF, so we'll see if she'll be able to finish with Maracry Mosul in ninth. David Yunt completes over through to the top 10, and James Knox, unfortunately, had force feedback issues, was part of the reason for his retirement. Hopefully that has been ironed out as he starts 11th for McKenna.
Yeah, now qualifying is set on actual pace, so hopefully a bit more equal battles happen to entertain us this time around. Although we did see people like Nova McKenna, she performed very well, even though she qualified pretty low.
Yes, that's that's often a very good hindsight as well, and it's always often is the case in situations like this. But again, we'll just see how this race is going to go. 23 laps this time, so a bit of a longer ahead. As the lights go on and we're underway, that Glamsetter has a brilliant start, almost a jump start, as he leads the way down into turn one, as it's almost three wide coming down from behind him, but Mello will still hold on through to second place as Salagi goes a little bit wide. Nikola Koski a bit under trouble for Andy Park as he's going to go side by side, heading over through to the hairpin as Koski just about beats him. Petralia and Moselby will both make up their way through to 6th and 7th as Kerala just manages to get over through to 7th. McKenna has dropped over down to 8th. David Yunt manages to overtake Mosul. Mosul has been dropped actually from 7th down to 10th as they go over through the first sector. A very hectic race it has been so far. It's only just been the first half of the lap so far. Knox and Mosul still battling out, but still Glamsetter leads, followed by Mello, Salagi, Lukoski, Park, Petralia, Kerala and McKenna.
Very, very good, very clean opening lap so far. The front three have gained a bit of distance on P4, which is actually Cody Nikolakowski. That's pretty surprising. Overall, very clean start. Christian got a mega start. I thought he actually jumped, but just checking now, he hasn't, so he's going to keep the position.
Indeed, and again, it's just going to be determinant on how they're going to make their races. So Glamsetter Mello continuing where they left off. Back in the first race, Salagi looking into the background, could be licking his lips. He could be eyeing an opportunity to take the race victory away from them if they continue to battle off pretty fiercely. Mello looking over around to the outside, pushing over against Glamsetter down for turn one. Maybe trying to threaten him, maybe trying to put him off his element. But Glamsetter doesn't budge. So Mello rejoins back in, still in second place. Salagi is still holding him down behind in third as Lukoski is also... He's not actually catching up. He's taking his sweet time and just being an outsider in this potential triplet fight for the win. as slowly Samuil will join back us in a very short moment. As for the Dakin, Petralia has gained quite a little bit as she's following along through with Andy Park as well, in through on 5th as it holds on to their Optimno in a 5 and 7th there. Remco must be beaming side to side with smile and happiness, both him and River Machete, as he laughs as he always does. Further down back, David Yunt and Nova McKenna. Nova McKenna not really gaining as much, but we'll see that Mello almost makes the overtake against Glabcenter, but Glabcenter defends very well. Solagi goes have a look down for the inside as he tries to see an opening, but there's nothing there left as Solagi has to just concede and just follow behind Tiago. As Mello almost made the overtake against Glabcenter, and here comes Cody further down behind as he's now slowly got himself in and has truly and surely inserted himself into the picture for this battle for the podium places as they all navigate down through turn 1. It's still Glabcenter that leads pretty comfortably. Bit of a fight I think that was going on. Mozo has dropped off. He's now 3.4 seconds. Unfortunately for the Mission 19 Fellow 1 driver, as still further back on. It's still lap 3 of 23 and it is still all as it has been as McKenna looks down for the inside. Oh goodness me, that is so close. I think she's gone off a bit worse from that racing line as she drops the position over to David Young. David Young goes in through and could be losing another position to her teammate, and yes, it will seem so as McKenna loses it out. She's dropped 2 places in the span of just 1 corner, Samuil.
Yeah, very, very interesting stuff happening around here. Someone's in the gravel, someone's taking the apexes also very, very aggressively. Very interesting fight. I'm using very way too many times, but that's just how things go. Top 4 fight is very good so far. Everyone's on the rear of the car in front, and nobody's leaving any breathing room. Mark Silagi almost got spun. He got pushed onto the grass even, I would say, while trying to overtake.
Indeed. Lakowski now against Salagi. Salagi having to worry about Lakowski. Has, again, swiftness attention behind rather than in front as Mello and Glabcenter will duel out for the race win just for now as Lakowski looks down into the inside, pushing over for turn 1 against Salagi. Salagi has to take through the wider exit though, which means Lakowski will surely have the better running down into the hairpin on turn 2 as he makes his way through the inside. But is Salagi going to continue to hold it through? Is he going to concede? No, he's not. He is still going to let them fight, and he will manage to make it still hold on for the P3. But a poor X on the outside will allow for Lakowski to come in, but no. Salagi still manages to defend Samuil.
Silagi doing a very, very good job. Still holding into P3, but he's losing time to the cars ahead. Maybe he should just let Cody go and look to get back into the battle for P1 and P2. And now Tiago Mel's on the inside of Christian Glabcenter. They made it too wide, and the fast right-hander, they're going too wide once again. Are they going to make it through? Yes, they do, but Christian Glabcenter loses out on a bit of ground. Tiago Mel is in P1 now.
Great move there by Mello against Glabcenter with the feature race the most maximum points that you can get in OWSS. It's worth more than the sprint race. This is going to be really important for Mello for his battle against Glabcenter for battle of P2 in the championship, as Lakowski still struggling to make his way past Salagi. But he's been super close thus far and was going side by side, similar to Mello and Glabcenter in the same area, but just couldn't quite stick it. As they go over for turn 1, Lakowski is going to go for the same move for once again a little bit further off, but maybe could work if he's learned a little bit from his battle with Salagi, how he defends, and maybe Salagi has also learned how Lakowski as well attacks as well. So these two is going to be a little bit more fierce than before. Of course, further down behind, Andy Park also in 5th, with meanwhile further down behind that is David Young leading through for 6th, with Corolla 7th, and Knox manages to make the overtake against Petralia for P8 as Petralia a little bit onto the grass, and it's between Petralia and McKenna now. McKenna down to the inside, and she will take P9 with Layla. Unfortunately, a bit of a struggle out on exit, down into 10th.
Very, very interesting fighting. The grid is split. Ooh, big crash. Cody and Mark collide. They're both sideways. They're going to lose a few positions, but they're still in the race. I don't think any damage has been done. Well, on the car, but in terms of positions, yeah, they've fallen back to the last places, but only Mozo behind them, who's been having some issues.
Lakoski down into P10 now. And it's going to be between Mello and Glamsetter for the lead now. Salagi and Lakoski unfortunately been caught with this. Andy Park, the biggest advantage of this. He's eyeing for his first podium since he made his debut in our Factor 2 back in Kyalami. And could very well truly achieve that in only just his second race. And that could well truly be a possibility, which is absolutely incredible to mention, Samuel. Salagi now and Lakoski going to go for it once again, this time for a third time in a row, but it's going to be for P9, as Salagi almost shuts the door sideways on the exit, but Lakoski still not going to budge, still going to go side by side as they go over down for turn 2. Sheer commitment there from the Macedonian, with almost late on the brakes, but Salagi will still try to defend, going over for turn 4. Barely giving each other an inch, a little bit of a collision, but still nothing percent between them as Lakovsky manages to make the overtake for P9.
Silagi now back on the inside, they hit it. No
God,
damage done. No
God, that
damage
was
done
close.
though.
God, that was close. As you said, no damage has been done whatsoever between Salagi and Lakoski. Tension going up for her head in this triple fight for P5 between Knox, Corolla, and McKenna here, Samuel.
Yeah, Cody finally just about gets past Silagi, and Silagi puts on the attack again. Hopefully, he's gonna be hoping to get away from him now. But Leo Petralia falling back down. Something's happened to her. And Thiago Melo's still holding on to P1, or actually he overtook Christian Glamstetter. I'm not too sure. I've forgotten the order from the first laps.
He did overtake about 2 laps ago, so Mello hoping to try and pull away from Glamsetter is his only hope now. McKenna in 7th, and now Corolla who's chasing Knox for P5, as it's currently for a McKenna racing 5 and 7 now as it stands, with Corolla in the midst of a McKenna sandwich. Still up 7 out of 23, Samuel.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of laps still left. I wonder if anything's gonna change or if someone's gonna try and pit, although with the fuel bug, I don't think anyone's gonna be willing to do that no matter how bad the tires get, because everyone's gonna be on the same tire. So it's just gonna be down to who can manage the tires the best throughout the race, so he can save that performance that he'll desperately need for the end of the race.
Absolutely. With lap 7 out of 23, so he's still oh goodness me, they both went a bit off track. Corolla's gone way off track. That's going to allow for McKenna to happily take it to P6, so it's going to be James Knox and McKenna 5th and 6th respectively, as McKenna goes a little bit off track, but still does pretty fine. Corolla, I think, must be struggling somewhat, as Petralia has dropped to Mosul.
The mission there, one teammates fighting it out for the final points paying positions today. The race hasn't really gone their way. I don't think they wanted to be in this position. They weren't in this position, but something happened to both cars. So this is the cars they gotta play with.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate, and I think they're just hoping for maybe the weather to play into some sort of a hand into stabilizing the field again, but unfortunately for the way it's time being, they just seem to struggle a little bit. Petralia onto the grass in the hairpin, just a pretty big struggle, unfortunately, but the Italian still will keep it clean with no damage whatsoever done to her car. Mello Glamsetter has pushed over to 1.2 seconds, followed by Andy Park 3 seconds, of which it's a 2.2, 2.4, 2 seconds, and then a 1.2, 1.4, 1.1, and 8.3 between Slaggy and Mosul. So those are the gaps you can see onto the left-hand side. Closest battle that we have currently gone at the moment between the McKennas of Nova and Knox. Corolla makes the overtake. Oh, Corolla has actually retired, and that was a very brief moment that we've seen him spawn into the second sector, and that is our first retirement of the day.
Very, very unfortunate for Corolla. Just heartbreaker once again. I'm not too sure what happened because we didn't quite manage to catch it, but hopefully it wasn't nothing too bad involving another driver.
Indeed, Knox has been overtaken by Latkovsky, I believe. I was wondering if Knox must have made some sort of incident that's how he lost to McKenna, as McKenna's into P5 and Latkovsky has overtaken for P6. So unfortunate there for the British driver, but it's his debut as well. He hasn't raced since preseason testing, so he's been doing fairly well so far.
Yeah, he's been having a pretty good outing. James Knox. Oh, chasing now Cody Nicola Latkovsky now. He's only 5 tenths back. James Knox is a very good driver from GPWC, so he's definitely going to be putting on the pressure even though he hasn't practiced or hasn't raced.
Indeed, and the thing is, it's a clean slate as well. The previous time he's raced in these cars, it was a completely different physics package that he's used to. So the fact that he's come in completely cold to no practice and is still performing as high as he's doing, applying for the pressure onto Latkovsky, who has been a championship leader, is a true testament of James Knox's skill here, Samuil.
Yeah, James Knox is a very good driver. He's, I think, going to be in Super Lights this season, potentially Formula Sprint 2. Yeah, he's got some accolades behind him. He's a very good driver. A lot of other drivers like him. And ooh, James Knox makes a big mistake. Manages to not collide with the wall though, so he can probably keep going. No, he's gonna go back to the pits.
James Knox, I am so sorry. I should not have praised you. It's
Yeah,
my fault.
Commentator Jinx.
It's completely my fault, James. Just blame me. It's easy. It's completely easy. Lap 10 out of 23, 13 laps to go. Still eyeing on for Cody Latkovsky as he continues his way up the charge after his incident with Salagi. His next in line to challenge is McKenna for P5. Again, Irish team versus Irish team this time, except McKenna has to instead defend from Mello, has to defend from Latkovsky. A bit different, and this time all the same compounds, and no weather change in sight, at least for the time being. It looks to be a completely different story, but it's going to be a good showcase for Nova and Cody, as these two have brought some pretty good they did fight a little bit during the first race, and that was quite fun. So luckily we get to see a repeat of that again. Meanwhile, up ahead, David Yunt and Andy Park. Andy Park, the Chilean, still holding on through to this podium place and a chance to keep it holding on through for the time being, but has to defend from David Yunt. It's a bit of a battle between the generations here for someone that's only been in R Factor 2 for a few weeks versus someone that's been R Factor 2 for a few years. And who could come out on top, do you think, Samuil?
Yeah, I think experience is gonna prevail. David Young, very experienced driver, has drove a lot of cars. Old guy, he knows the stuff in and out, so I think he should be having the advantage and getting the position as he just did.
Great move there by Latkovsky. He gets himself up into P5 with that great overtake on McKenna down for the hairpin, as Andy Park does lose out on P3 to David Yunt, as he does manage to make the overtake, and that will allow for the Swiss driver to push Aquila Racing into the podium place.
Yeah, Andy Park fighting it out now with David Yunt. Once again, he, excuse me, I'm not too sure, isn't letting down. Yes, thank you. Isn't backing up to the more experienced driver. He's giving him a run for his money.
Nova, she's been really strong so far throughout this entire race, and it's yeah, it's I honestly agree. Definitely giving lots of people a run for her money. Really has just gone to show just how much she truly does love Brands Hatch. She also performed, I think she did perform well here as well last time as well in OWSS last season as well. Of course, McKenna Racing got another, I think their first race win, I think, was actually here in Brands Hatch as well. So that's a quite a nice experience for all those OWSS hardcore fans out there, as we're way past through the halfway point of the race with about 11 laps to go. Mello still leads 2 seconds, but McKenna is kind of being pulled away as Latkovsky is eyeing now for Andy Park. But Andy Park is still breathing distance within David Yunt, though. Still 5/10 though, Samuil.
There's a long way to go in the race. Andy Park can just sit around and David Young slipstream and maybe just conserve his tires and just coast until it's a very crucial moment to overtake in the final maybe 5 laps, 3 laps, whatever he thinks is actually a decent amount.
Indeed. And he using the slipstream at hand for Jans going over through to the penultimate corner. And just a very short straight before that final corner, it's just going to see how it will be possible. Both of them in, shall we say, teal, both of them in the teal team colors. One for Aquila, one for Optimital. I'm pretty sure I know who Remco Zeeuw is going to be rooting for his Aquila, he says, of course, much to his delight. 10 laps left to go. Oh, David Young, bit too sideways, little bit more than his liking. Even probably he would like to admit, and that's also going to put strain into the tires as well, Samuil, as well. So you can't really attack these corners all too aggressively, especially in a feature race.
No, I'm sure the tires are already heated up and they're a bit worn. The curbs are also very, very treacherous here, as well as the AstroTurf. You can even call it that. It's just basically grass. So, yeah, you got to be very, very careful on the track limits you opt to use.
You optimal use AstroTurf. I don't know any racetracks that use AstroTurf. Oh my goodness me! They were both a little bit onto the gravel, but still manages to keep up. They keep their two wheels on the gravel, but then still manage to control it. Is what's the most impressive thing, in my opinion, from all these drivers here at OWSS. Because often at times, whenever you have two wheels on the grass, not only do you use a lot of miles, you lose a lot of speed, but also it's much harder to control the car and to just direct it in the way that you want to go. So the fact that McKenna, Park, Yunt, Lakoski, Mello, and others do it so is honestly impressive to me.
I think it's because the car is kind of underpowered. I've noticed this as well, that you can kind of go on the grass and still keep the power on, and you're not really spinning the wheels, so that means you're not spinning the car around when are you in the grass. Like you could use that park that Andy just used. It's not really an issue. Maybe it slows you down sometimes, but it depends. Maybe I would say it's more of when you use four wheels and you go in the grass.
Absolutely, indeed. Well, that's actually a very good hindsight. Now I can understand why everyone has their two wheels a bit dumped into the grass. Tension for up ahead between Mello and Glamsitter. Glamsitter is, I think, catching. It's gone down to 1.7 seconds, which was previously 1.9, I think. So I think Glamsitter is catching, but how much is he gonna catch? Do you think? Is he gonna catch at all? Because it's now pushing over to 2.1 seconds now, so it does really completely depend. As we've got the 1v1 battle on the left hand side. Glabsetter is catching up 3/10 quicker actually, recently in the last lap time. So he's lapping for a 29.7, and that will be a 27.5, I think.
Very, very exciting stuff. Hopefully, Christian Glamsitter manages to catch up to Thiago Melo. The gap is about 2 seconds now. But maybe I don't see that happening because he's just been losing out since he got overtaken.
I think it's a possibility, but I wouldn't rule Glamsetter out yet. I think it's just, I guess the question is just, well, Mello having to. Salagi has retired!
That's very unfortunate. He was having a good, interesting race. Lots of fighting with Cody Nicola. I wonder what happened. We'll find out later.
Yep, we'll find out for the confirmation onto the maybe the driver himself. As so yeah, we'll see. Glamsetter is just ever so slightly on the edge, but it's kind of more or less stagnated. I think the time will tell in about the next 5 laps if it will ever come down to that. But we'll keep an eye between Glamsetter and Mello as it progresses. Speaking of progression, Park and Yunt has still stagnated a little bit in the gap, although Yunt has just ever so slightly has had the edge against Andy here at Brands Hatch, as it's just been pushed a little bit to about 2/10 since the last time we checked between these two drivers.
Andy Park now closing. No, never mind. Losing out to David Yunt. Excuse me. He's finally starting to drop a bit further back now. The gap is just about 1 second. That means he's out of Slipstream or just barely in it. So that Ian is going to be looking to capitalize and just continue making the gap bigger and secure yet another podium.
Absolutely. And I think Yunt may have this in the bag. Yunt Park has, as you said, struggled a bit, so it's now gone to 1.3 seconds now. So Yunt again, the breathing room that he so desperately desires, as he's effectively can now focus a little bit on his own race. 5 seconds between himself and Glamsetter. His only chance for this coming down is hoping for Glamsetter and Mello to put up some sort of fight that will gently insert himself into the picture, as that is Leila Petralia, who's been unfortunately struggling, and 53 seconds back ahead. She's at risk of being lapped by Yunt, so it's very unfortunate for Leila. You have to wonder what has gone wrong, as Andy Parker's gone off and will lose out on P5. Lakoski makes the overtake from Andy that has went off track, so Nicola has gone up into fourth, and Park unfortunately drops.
Very unfortunate for him. Indeed, Andy Park's starting to make a bit of mistakes. It's been quite a few laps. Only three people have actually gained some sort of positions. Everyone else has stayed in the position they started on. So that's a very rare occurrence that I actually haven't seen in a long time.
David Yunt, the biggest gainer from this here today. He's gained 7 places. Definitely frame that and put that up in your bedroom wall, Samuel, because you probably will never see such a statistic ever again. I sure as hell haven't. Even more impressive, nobody has lost positions as well. So as much as Yunt, Glamsetter, and Mozo have gained positions, nobody has lost them, which is quite funny.
Yeah, very strange thing. I'm trying to remember if I've ever seen a case like that, but I haven't. It's only 8 drivers left at this point, but still, that's very rare. That means a lot of things have to have gone pretty right for nothing to change. So yeah, interesting um, stuff happening around here. Voodoo stuff, you could even say.
Ooh, spooky. I don't believe in voodoo stuff, to be honest with you, but that might be just me. Um, or this could be great foreshadowing, and something suspicious happens to me. If this case, this is my goodbye message. Uh, the mid-race shenanigans of R Factor 2. You love to see it. Lap 18 out 23 though. Mello Glamsitter has now pushed over about 3 tenths last time we checked, so Mello is definitely pushing away a little bit. David Yunt has not climbed at all to Glamsitter Mello, so he's still around 4.5 seconds. But Lakovsky, who's trying to still hope for a podium, this could. He's not the first time, because he's back in Kyalami was the first time ever he had a non-podium finish, and that was due to a collision in the third sector. And this time he's involved in a collision in. Well, this is the first time ever he's not going to win a feature race, actually.
Oh, and people are getting lapped now. Cody Nika Latkovsky lapping Leila Petralia. I guess she pitted. That's, I'm assuming, what happened, because I don't think she lost 58 seconds of worth of time just off of pace alone. She'd have to be going very slowly.
I think it could be a bit of a struggle, because we have seen her struggle so much through in the track though, but I don't necessarily blame her. It's a very hard card to get right, and especially being a fix-up, this is kind of the trade-off balances of fix-up championship. Sometimes you just have to. Sometimes it's good for you because the setup is catered to your type of driving style, and other times you have to sort of morph your driving style with the setup, and you can kind of see that already happening, which is kind of why Lakovsky and Mello, Glamsetter and company have done so well, is because the setup is almost attuned for their racing style, you know?
Yeah, also the better drivers usually adapt much faster, much better, much more accurately, so they can get the most out of the car. Maybe maybe close setups are what is holding back some drivers, but I guess we have to find out if there's ever open setups in this league.
Probably will never happen.
Probably.
Probably. I don't know. Time will tell, and in season 3 maybe we'll have open subs, but we will have to wait and see, as it is still only lap 9 of 23. This fourth round of the championship, still 2 rounds left to go after the conclusion of this one, and as it currently stands, nobody can really seem to put on a challenge to Mello, as he's been on a very commanding lead so far from pole position. Only ever lost out to Glamsetter. Glamsetter, may I remind you, had a fantastic start to get himself up into the lead. And even though he's gained a net 1 position at the end of it, he has still been doing a very phenomenal work thus far. He's really come into his element since since Hampton Downs, actually, and has well and truly has cemented himself as the best of the best, especially with Ben Skinner not being here.
Yeah, that's for sure. I agree with what you said. Thiago Mello just being the best replacement, I guess you could say, to Ben Skinner and Christian Glamsitter, also putting in very, very good performances. Although I would say he kind of struggles in the clutch because we've seen him spin out twice already. I love his driving. He's very fast. He's very good. He's usually very clean. But this sprint race and last sprint race, he just didn't manage to pull it off. Amir, are you here?
I'm sorry, I was taking a bit of a glass of water.
All right, that is very, very fair.
It has been pretty fun, and oftentimes whenever you excite yourself, you may need to fill yourself for a little bit of a hydration. 4 laps or so left to go, and yeah, as you said, it's sometimes quicker for drivers for to adapt though, and it's just slowly we can see Glamster and Yunt now slowly getting to a net gap and equality between each other. So um, yep, so Glamsetter and David Yunt about a net 3.5 seconds of a gap approximately between each other at the moment. And Lakowski is still. I don't know if Lakowski is just catching or not. I'm wondering if Lakowski may have sustained any sort of damage, which is sort of why he couldn't really seem to catch up, as he is still only about 5 seconds or so behind from Yunt. And with that time slowly ticking down, he is that chance of him getting a podium is getting slimmer and slimmer. And unfortunately for him, it's not often good to see records come down to a conclusion like this, but it's been a good run for Lukowski in terms of feature race wins. But currently, as it seems to stand, it's well, I think this honestly might have been the closest that Elk International had came close to not winning here, Samuel.
Yeah, this is maybe the worst round. No, it's not the worst round Elk have had, but this is definitely the worst round Cody has had so far. He hasn't, I think, performed up to the level he wants to. He didn't. He isn't going to finish where he wants to, which is on the podium, preferably P1, of course. So yeah, that's my take on that.
You do have to keep in mind as well, it's not easy, especially in these fast-paced races, to be involved in incidents and still find a way to claw back up as well. I mean, of course, like Lakowski and Salagi was the only sort of big impact moment that we've had in this feature race. But then you could also maybe say the same for the sprint race. But then at the same time, almost everyone was involved in incidents. Mello, Glamsetter, Yunt, I think Park was as well. McKenna, I think, was involved as well. Knox and Salagi were most definitely involved as well. Kerala as well, all involved in like lap 1, but then they all managed to. I think because everyone was already starting from the back foot, they all kind of pushed themselves along, and that is more easier than if you're just having one incident in a sea of clean racing. That really has been the case. Lakowski and Salagi, unfortunately, was just the anomaly in this race for the unfortunate collision that they've had. And as a result, they dropped all the way back to 8th and 9th. So the fact they've managed to gain some positions in the end, and just ever so slightly, the fact that we're even talking about Nikola Lakowski not getting a podium and saying that's a disappointment has gone to show just how of a strong championship campaign that he's had going on here as we go over to the final lap.
Yeah, Melo managed to cut out a few points out of Cody this round. I'm pretty sure Cody finished P4, or was it P4 in
P5.
race one? P5, yeah, okay. So yeah, that's a few points. Now there's a change of about what, 15 points? 13 points, I think. From P1 to P4. So yeah, Thiago gaining just about 20 points on Cody for this round, and there's two more rounds left after this. I'm not sure when Cody mathematically wins for sure, but I don't think that moment has yet to come.
Tension draws up ahead to Thiago Mello, who was a very happy man last time coming through Kyalami, as for all the stops he not only finally managed to get his first podium, but he got his first win in the sprint race. This time round, as he rexes out folks to the final corner, he's going to claim his first feature race here in OWSS as Thiago Mello goes for across the line, and he'll take the feature race win here at Brands Hatch. And a fantastic commanding performance as Glamsetter will go for another podium added to his repertoire in second place, and David Yunt will round off through the podium with a third place for Aquila Racing. Kona Kolakowski, despite being fourth, still nets in a very impressive point haul for Oak International in the feature race, with Andy Park, unfortunately, with that incident a little bit, misses out on the podium, but still a very good drive from him nonetheless. The Chilean driver goes for across the line to take fifth place. A little bit on the grass for good measure, though. Still good, though. Nova McKenna for the line in sixth. A little bit unfortunate race for her, but still a pretty good showing overall in the race from the sprint and the feature. And then further down back, then Maracry going over through to the final corner. Pretty good OWSS debut for himself as he goes around for the line to complete over through seventh, as Leila Petrelli just slightly up ahead rounds off through a lap down, but still collects points for Velo 1 more importantly, as they both do a Turkey 2010.
That that's good. That's good memory, good history as well.
I love that as well. Thiago Melo and Cody Latoxi driving side by side. These are your sprint and feature race winners, as Elk International still holds on through to their 100% record. And somewhere Lorenzo is smiling with happiness that I've said that quote. Thiago Mello toss on through to the lead and wins over through the feature race. Christian Glamsetter, I think that's the highest place that Glamsetter has finished in a feature race. In second place, David Yunt in third for Killer Racing. Will be another podium for him in OWSS. Conan Klokowski, the worst that he has finished in the feature race, in fourth, but still good points for him. Andy Park in fifth with Nova McKenna in sixth. Mosul in seventh, Leila Petralia in eighth. Leila Petralia being it for a lap down. The retirements being Mark Salagi with James Knox. And as well with that, the only other one in 11th is Jonas Coralla.
Entertaining feature race once again, and I would say it was much cleaner with most of the DNFs coming from individual mistakes. So yeah, I would say this was a positive feature race for us.
That was a great feature race, I must say. I think it was lots of battling going on ahead. I think usually as the case, it being a reverse and also less laps. Sprint races are more action packed than features, but then features you really do get to see sometimes drivers in their best, and that's often has always been the case in feature races, which is why it's been more quote unquote boring. But this was by far a boring feature race. This was an incredibly action packed one, especially with the lead and midway through the race with the battle that Glamsetter had with Mello and David Yunt as well, and later on with Yunt and Park, and unfortunately contact with Salagi and Cody pushed them a bit down, but otherwise a very fantastic race.
Next up, we got Misana. Wait, no, hold up. Yeah, it's all right. It's not really like this. Next up, we have Road Atlanta, and then we've got um Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi. Brands Hatch is coming back. You guys like it? We're racing twice.
Good track.
It's fine. Don't worry. Don't worry about that, Remco. It's fine. But as we've said, through the next one, Road Atlanta is going to host through the next round into the championship. Still got about a couple of rounds left to go, so two is left. So you can kind of count them with your. Well, I was going to say you can count them with your five fingers, but you could probably already do that already by this point. But a great race from everyone, I must say, and fantastic viewing. And for that in mind, we'll go down very shortly to our interviews. Do you want to take the lead for this one, Samuel?
Ooh, yeah, and there's a lot of people in here. So let's see, who do we bring up first? I think it's the duo of Elk once again being in the commentary booth. Amir, just for this one, I think you deserve to ask the first question because, well, you're the team owner, so yes.
We did it! We did it! Well done! Well done!
Jesus.
Okay, there's my bias out the window. Very fantastic work from you two as well. I'm not just saying this as I'm obviously your team owner, but still watching over was absolutely incredible feat. Unfortunately, you two going over through to qualifying, it was really quite action packed, more than we usually see in OWSS. How do you two both feel about the weather? Like, it was starting to dry off a bit at the end of qualifying, and then it was also changeable weather as well during the sprint race. What was your both of your mindsets heading into both the sprint and the feature with that changeable weather in mind?
You go ahead, Thiago.
Okay. Yeah, that was very hard to change it because I never ride this car in the wets. So yeah, we needed to understand again the car in the new condition and take a good care of the tires for not losing them during the race and for not losing the car in the race too. So yeah, that was very difficult in the start, but we could take it the in the fast way we could, and it was a very result in the end.
So yeah, from my end, I think regarding qualifying, it was very much a first attempt wonder. You know, you had to really get it on your first try, and then fortunately enough that when the track starts drying up towards the end, everyone else could get a decent shot. But I'm not sure what happened to Thiago. I think he had enough fuel. I just didn't have that last leader to make it around on the final lap, and I was 2-3 tenths up. So no question of what could have been. But yeah, all things considered, I like how the weather played a lot into deciding what tire to run. You could see how the wets kind of brought us towards the front. Thiago unfortunately lost it a little bit towards the start there, but you know, as the race went on, the how do I say, the slicks sort of kind of started to bring it back, and you know, Christian around this track, he's pretty damn quick. So props to him for making the slicks work. He managed to just get past Thiago in the end in that first race. And yeah, they both kind of drove away from everyone else in the second race. So props to both Thiago, to Christian for really setting the pace this round. Unfortunately, me and Mark kind of came together. We were battling for P3, and after that, it was, you know, a bit of a recovery drive from my end. I think my pace indicated that maybe could have kept up with the top two, but Yeah, no, it's all right. I'm just happy that the elk win streak has continued, and we'll see. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe we could make it a perfect 12 out of 12. But I won't jinx anything. Just fingers crossed.
You might have already done it.
We'll see.
Yeah, you guys just continue to really dominate the team standings. Not like you're not dominating the driver standings as well, but I'm pretty sure it's probably already in the bag for the team standings. So what do you guys think? Did you, in the beginning of the season, before the season started, what did you guys expect to achieve or like happen during the season? So, yeah.
I don't think I was expecting us to come out of round 4 this far ahead. I don't think I really thought it was we were going to have a lot more work cut out for us. That this would be a battle that lasted round to round. A lot of uncertainty. But hey, no, we can't be anything but happy at this result. So yeah, I think this is something we need to pat ourselves on the back for, and just keep pushing, try and end the season strong.
You, Tiago?
Yeah, in the start of the season, I was expecting to be in the middle of the group. I wasn't expecting to be fighting for victories or podiums. And so yeah, it's very good to see how how we made these races until now. And yeah, I'm very happy with the season, and I'm very satisfied uh, with the results. And yeah, I don't have to say anything uh, about yeah, it's I don't know what to say. It's marvelous.
It's marvelous indeed. So, any other questions from anyone?
When are we getting the trophy?
When you officially win.
No. No, that I just I hope participation just looked a tiny bit lower than usual. This is, I would say, a call to action to the rest of the drivers and everyone that's watching. Please come to these races. It's a lot of fun, and I think showing up is half the struggle. These cars are pretty fun to drive in, pretty good to race with, and even if a race doesn't go your way, there's still something you can take out of it with a good battle or two.
Yeah, thank you for putting in a good word. Very, very appreciated. So, if we have nothing else to say, I'll be moving you guys back to the other VC and dragging someone else in. So, thank you for joining us. It was lovely to have you again.
Thanks.
Thanks, Samuil. See ya.
Thanks. See ya.
See you guys. Okay, who do we bring in now?
Anyone that you want to, I don't mind.
Remco, you tell me. Yes, Remco, you need to make a decision, Remco. All right, let's bring in James Knox. Hello, James.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Congratulations on your
100%
debut,
sure.
James.
Oh,
Congratulations.
thank you.
We're
thank you.
super
I think it went really well. I can't
It
lie.
went fantastic. It went
I think it
fantastic.
went-
How did you feel when your first feedback left you? during your-
honestly, I went round turn 1, and then I was like, hold on a minute, I ain't got any force feedback. And I literally said in the chat, no FFB, LOL, just to basically warn everyone behind me that I was probably going to spin, and I did. So that went about as well as a bucket of sick, but oh well.
It was great. It was honestly impressive. This is the first time that you've raced in these OWSS cars since I think it was back in preseason testing. Of course,
Yes,
a lot of the car has changed a lot since then. So the
yes.
first time when you got back into it, and I don't, and you haven't like participated in the rounds before, how did it feel? How much more different did it feel compared to when you first tested?
I mean, it felt a lot. I mean, to be fair, I don't really remember how it felt during testing. It's only because yesterday I drove about 5 hours in the SL2 car, so it's a bit of whiplash basically getting in this car with about zero practice. And I mean, this car does require a very specific skill set, one that I don't really have. And you know, my plaudits to those who can actually drive it properly. I can't. I'm not very good in this car. But yeah, it was an experience. I'll just put it that way. I didn't. Yeah, that's about it really. I mean, it would have been nice to have been able to drive in the sprint race from pole, but obviously, like the game had other decisions. And to be fair, I was happy with what Christian did. You know, P2 race 2, P3 race 1, but obviously the move in the last corner was a little bit questionable. But you know, maybe that would be something that the stewards would look at. And yeah, that's all I've really got to say, to be honest.
Same.
Yeah, actually, I need to ask a question. Yeah, I thought I asked it, but never mind. My head is not in the game at the moment. James, do you think you could be making the next rounds, and what do you see yourself achieving in those rounds if you can join?
I can make next week. I'm probably, if I am going to drive next week, I will probably need at least an hour of practice. Problem with me is I do tend to I can't just get in a car and just drive it quick. I need time. It's a completely different car. It's a completely way of driving. So, yeah, next week I probably will drive. I plan to drive, just maybe with a bit more practice because I'm off work next Wednesday, so I'll have a bit more time on my hands. And yeah, I'm maybe gonna. Hopefully, the aim is to finish the race. So if I can do that, then we're good.
Yeah, I would say that's a pretty decent goal for
Yeah,
anyone actually participating. As you
exactly.
managed to get quite a few DNFs a race, just take it slow, take your time.
Yeah, to be fair, I didn't do that. But oh well. As you know, we live and we learn, and hopefully I will learn. But yeah, that was it was an experience. I usually like Brands Hatch, and I did like Brands Hatch. It's my home track, but I really did like struggled in these cars.
You know, I don't have a home track. I mean, like,
Oh right, yeah, okay, yeah. That's
yeah.
yeah.
Brands had
I'm
strong
glad
sucks
you
anyway.
finished the sentence. I'm very glad you finished that sentence because
Thank you.
we you know. But no, are there no tracks in Bulgaria?
They just made one actually, but
Oh.
I think it's yet for like I know there's an AC mod of it, but there's yet to be anything actually official raced on it. I think it's FIA grade 2 or B or whatever the fuck the second option is.
I see.
Maggio, are you listening? Please mod it. Please mod it.
Yes, because I would love to drive in
Yes.
Bulgaria.
Oh, you're right. Now you're just capping, bro.
A sim racer's wet dream. Racing
Yeah,
Bulgaria.
now,
Oh, I
now
can't
you're just
wait.
lying.
Bulgaria Grand Prix, OWSS Season 3, let's go.
Oh yeah, I'm sure, bro. Everyone's curling their toes up right now.
Honestly,
So you get
I will
Bulgaria.
drop everything to drive in the Bulgarian Grand Prix. Sign me
I'm
up.
sure.
I'll drop
I
everything.
know a lot of other people that will say the same thing, especially Ben
Exactly.
Skinner. He'd love it. He loves
Yeah,
Bulgaria.
yeah, yeah.
Alfie Denley as well, biggest Bulgaria supporter ever.
Alfie Denley. What,
Who's
man?
he?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah. Yeah. I will be racing next week. Probably. maybe. Oh,
Fantastic.
if in the mood.
Nice.
But I think I need
All
about
right
3
then.
therapy sessions after today, but we're all good.
All right, we'll be sending you off to therapy then.
All right,
Back in the waiting
fantastic.
room.
All right,
Thank you for
thank you very
joining us.
much. I will rewatch the stream. I'm sure you guys were great commentators. Have a good evening.
Thank you, James. Good night.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Do we bring anyone else then, or do we call it quits?
Thanks for what? No, we'll do one more. We'll do a couple more. I can happily do a few more. if you don't mind.
Remco, can you do one more? Old Fart is now. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, Uncle David Yun is now here at the right page of 24. Was it?
Hey, what? I'm 46.
Oh, 36. Oh yeah, you actually are an uncle.
Oh boy.
I thought you were younger. Anyways, David, what do you think of the race? What do you think of the standards today? How did you feel this round compared to other rounds from before?
I mean, we've had quite a few less drivers. I guess I don't know. Some people I saw didn't like the car. I mean, it got reworked, but some probably left it at that. Probably also because they made some bad experience, I guess. Although Kyalami is really a bad place to, be pushed into such a race and such a sprint race, because it's really difficult to overtake. And I mean, I saw that myself back then. And here now, I welcome rains. Probably also a bit difficult to come into an event with changing conditions. But then again, we were like at max 12 people, so not everybody came in. But otherwise, I think first I thought I had to, adjust to the car, how it handles. But I still think it's kind of fun to drive this car, and it's maybe a bit ashamed that there's not more competitors. But again, after some of the, hiccups in the rounds before, maybe cannot really be, angry at some people that just like, nah, I don't want to drive anymore. I just want to move on or focus on another championship. So yeah.
Amir?
You've been very impressive so far this season, David. Do you feel your success for here in OWSS, including another podium to your accolade, has been down to the fixed setup? Do you think?
Maybe I'm a terrible setup for even if like if we had a monsoon on track and it would kind of wash me off the track, I would at least enjoy it because something's happening. There's some conditions to tackle. I mean, I tackled them today, but I tested wets. Thought like it's not enough, and then I turned one on the dry, so I kind of brake too late or brake too hard. Did it again at turn 2. Then I had contact with I think it was Feis. I'm sorry about that. I mean, I'm not quite sure how much there was, but it was iffy on the dries. And at the end, it was getting better. It worked. Christian and me, I think both of the dries catching the front, but we were both a bit too slow, and I I found the barrier one lap, and that also didn't help getting close at the end of the race. So that's that. But to be honest, previously this season I've got a bit lucky and then sometimes a bit unlucky. Like at Hampton Downs, it was looking like a good race, and then Brody and me had contact and like both found a barrier too. So difficult. Like it's not looking too bad. It's also a bit of could have been better. I mean, like even the Kyalami podium was down to I think Christian spun at like the last turn. I just outracked him to it. So probably this sprint race was better in terms of pace and coming from the back after messing up. But I mean, there were also again just 11 cars, so it's difficult to say. But otherwise, it was kind of fun. Like I thought we were a bit closer to like Thiago and the elk pace, the elk test, getting a bit closer, but still not quite enough. And for Christian, like I saw the tire wear coming in for him at the end of race 2, but Andy was driving really well, took me some time, and then I was not getting away from him and was maybe focusing too much on that car that was still following me, and then yeah, it didn't quite work out in the end. But we'll see. It's still fun, this car, gotta say.
Samuil?
Did I ask him a question? Oh my days, I'm very sleepy now. Wait,
Okay,
I did ask
that's
him
fine.
the question.
It's fine. It's fine. Thank you so much, though, David. Very impressive on your well-deserved podium, and best of luck for the final 2 races of the season. We'll be rooting you on.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
See yous. And that will round up for the interviews because, as you can tell, Samuil's getting very, very EP at the moment. But closing thoughts, Samuil, before I close off the broadcast.
Very, very. I think this was definitely an improved round, even though we had less people. That's my closing remarks on this.
A very great battle all the way further field through the sprint and the feature race, but it's still the same names of the victors that come out for on top. Cody Nikolakowski and Thiago Mello, respectively, emerge victorious, with Thiago Mello being the first other feature race winner today, and Cody continues to add to his championship lead. This is not going to be over it for the championship, though. Still more positions are left up for grabs as we head over to the final 2 races of the calendar. Coming up for next week here in the Open Wheeler Sprint Series, we are traveling over to America for Road Atlanta, hosts over through the penultimate round of the championship before our conclusion at the Dubai Autodrome. Thank you very much to everyone that has been watching, to all of the drivers that have been competing here for thick and thin for OWSS Season 2. Samuil Slavev has been my co-commentator alongside here. He's been fantastic as always, and big thank you as well to Remco Zeeuw for his time and his commitment to prepare everything, especially for the absolutely fantastic broadcast quality. But until then, we'll see you over at America. I've been Amir Oates, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.